again.
And that's it.
Here we go. Thank you. All right. It is 2 o'clock. We're going to call this meeting to order on the 17th of October. And we will start with a confirmation of, or a roll call. Oh, no, confirmation of proper notice.
Notice was posted last Thursday according to statutory requirements.
Thank you, John. And we'll do roll call.
Cookie Finch, I'm not gonna forget you this time. Roger Schultz.
Here.
I'm here. Shannon Young,
Here.
Steve, is he on the?
Here.
Yep.
Dick Picola.
Here.
Jenny Palmer.
Here.
George Fisher.
Here.
Monica's not here. Claire Dewhurst.
Here.
Tammy Alborn. Here. Kamala. Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Barbara Carey. Deb Harder.
Here.
I almost said Harper. I'm gonna be Deb Harper.
No.
John West.
Here.
Okay, we're all here. We have 100% attendance. Thank you very much. And we have a quorum.
We're missing one.
Oh, we're missing one.
Monica.
Oh, no, Monica.
Monica isn't here.
Okay, sorry, my mistake.
99%.
No
She's in
Monica.
Germany.
She's in Germany. I guess she can't connect by Zoom from there. I'm going to run the meeting today here in the room. We do have the president on the phone, or on Zoom with us today, watching from home. He's unable to be in the room with us today. Would you like to say anything, Steve, or you want me just to read your comments?
No, just go ahead and read it. I don't want to start coughing.
Okay, very good. Steve called me yesterday and asked me to run the meeting and provide his comments. So here are the president's comments for October. Other than welcome everyone and thank you for being here and attending the meeting. We were incredibly lucky with Hurricane Ian. It could have been much worse. Our maintenance and landscaping crews were incredible, reporting first thing Thursday morning after the storm and worked tirelessly clearing the roads, getting the trees off some of our building roofs, getting our walkways cleared and working late both Thursday and Friday for us. Several pools were open on Friday and Jeff, Jack and Ed came in Saturday morning to get the rest of 6 and 7 pools open for the residents to use over the weekend. Most of us lost power on Wednesday afternoon, but most of us got it back for early Friday morning. We have an incredibly dedicated crew that put us first before cleaning their own yards over the weekend. These guys busted their butts. I know this because John Haggerty and I, meaning Steve, were right there with them both Thursday and Friday. I was sure glad the hot tub was available Saturday morning. I want each and every one of us to remember these guys when it comes to Christmas bonus donations this year. They went well above and beyond for us. Several of our residents brought lunch for the crew the following week, which was very nice. I also want to thank our residents. A lot of the clusters had residents sweeping up debris into piles, some even bagging it for the guys to pick up later, so the guys could concentrate on bigger stuff. That was very helpful. Thank you, Steve Abule. I see. Okay, so we will move on according to the agenda to review the minutes of the September 19th meeting. I hope that since you've all had the packages since Friday, that you had an opportunity to read through them. Are there any corrections to these minutes as they were presented?
Just the correction of the
Yeah.
date on
On the last page, it says August where it should say October. So we make that correction.
Okay. And do I hear a motion to approve with the correction?
I so move. Second.
Okay. Claire, John? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Financial matters. John West, do you want to talk to us about our finances?
I will do just that. We're over our budget, so to speak, for income and the all sources of income, and that's based on our special assessment income that's coming in on a monthly basis. Administration is over this month also based on insurance payments. And our building group is over based on added cost of material and some of the repair areas. And last but not least, the utility group is under based on the fact that we have been working diligently to save some money. And pool and tennis is over, but that's due to the high efficiency pumps that we purchased and a few leaks that have come up here. So far this year, we spent approximately $35,000 out of our reserve fund. And that was for the slabs, the second floor slabs and some pavement program and some pool repair. We still have an operating fund surplus based on, I believe, the cable contract signing fund. And that's noted here. My partner and I went on a field trip today and are looking at some opportunities for greater income in the future here. It's a little premature for us to talk about it, but Barb and I went over to see some people in regards to the investment of our reserve funds and coming up with some further income based on the interest income or interest percentages coming up and working on a ladder effect of CDs. Now we haven't got enough to report on at the present time, but we do feel that there's certainly some savings, or I should say some income to be had from our reserve funds. And to report on it right now would be premature, but I do want to talk to John about this a little bit in regards to the different process that we have in our financial area. And I think we'll make a full report on this at our next meeting. We'd like to have a part on the workshop on our first meeting next month. And then I think we'll make a report on it at our meeting on the November. Any questions?
Where are you looking for these?
We're looking for some type of a operation that will take our funds and follow through with the directions that we have, buying CDs and ladder effect this so that we have a CD coming due every or coming to fruition like every 3 months. And they will even go out.
Are you speaking of local businesses?
Yes. Local investment funds. In this particular case, it's Edward Jones, but there are a multitude of others out there.
And do you know where Edward Jones typically invests the money?
Well, the most important part, and is absolutely a no modification process, FDIC,
Thank you.
control, or I should say covering of all funds, just like if it were through a bank, but they're through individual banks. Basically what they're doing there is they can monitor the whole United States in the bank industry, whether it be electronic or brick and mortar, and see where the best.
So it's generally in the United States and not overseas.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. I mean, we're not sending it outside. the
Well,
United States.
I'm just hearing
But,
all kinds of horror stories
yeah.
about China and
No.
people investing in
Absolutely.
China.
That's an investment in some type of speculation type
Well, it's
thing.
more hedge funds. then.
Yes.
What's the
No,
best
no, no,
yield
not
you've
hedge
seen?
funds. Oh, you mean
4.5, 4.2, something like that. Again, it's again according to how many months we look at. Barb and I think somewhere, we've got a lot of funds there. We have to take a look at it and spread it. But the bottom line, I think, is we'll probably deal with the quarterly at the beginning and maybe work on 6 month and 12 and 24 as we get out there. We'll see. The bottom line is that we have some funds here that we're not going to touch for another 2 or 3 years. And as long as we keep them liquid enough that we can get them to them if their place burns down or blows down, I think we're in good shape of getting some more funds. We certainly did not make any money on it last year. And I think there's some things that can be done now with the changing of the financial markets. I was very encouraged. From you, Barb, do you have anything else you'd like to add to that?
Now, we looked around at several different institutions.
Yes.
But always want to be FDIC insured. And Edward Jones didn't seem promising. So, but we want to reach back to our own bank and
Yeah.
why we're not getting a better outcome than we should be getting. See what they have to say. So,
Who do we have those funds with now, John?
Southern State.
What is it?
Southern State.
Pardon me?
Southern State.
Thank you, John. Good report and a good thought to look ahead. Okay, accounts receivable, John Haggard.
Okay, right now, as of the 11th of October, we have 4 units that owe less than 1/4, but more than $500. We have 4 units that owe a quarter. We have no units that own 2/4. No more than 3 other than the legal ones we'll delineate in a moment. And then 5 owners have not paid the first quarter assessment. Now, they've been turned over to the attorney for collection. Richard?
I had a question about the 5 that haven't sent the special assessment. Are they part of the 4 or that also are behind in their dues?
No.
Or are they just
No,
different?
they're definitely different.
Are the, question to follow up, Dick, are the 5 local? I mean, do they live here or are they out of?
I
state?
think that 4 are here and 1 is not here.
Because I know of one who never received it either at their residence in Illinois or in their mailbox.
I
here.
know of 30 people that have called, said they didn't get any. I don't really believe that, but one person could have. But I mean, we've called since, this is 90 days late. We've called everybody that's owed every month. So there's no way that somebody didn't know at this time and point. It's possible in the beginning, but not now.
Are the people that are in arrears for their dues, for their HOAs? Also, did they refuse to pay for or did they not pay for the
No,
assessment?
that's 2 different issues. These
Yeah.
5 people are up to date in their regular maintenance fees. They have not paid their dues. 3 of them have promised innumerable times to bring it in, and 2 have got no answers for. So it went to the tech. The last conversation with everyone was, it's going to cost you more now, not only the $25 late fee, which some have paid, but they're also going to be paying attorney's fees for collection now.
Okay.
So when you think about it, I mean, you're never happy to have somebody in arrears, but 5% out of 5, or 5 out of 558 is a marvelous percentage.
Mhm.
Truly is.
It is. It is. And that's attributed to your efforts in pursuing those that didn't make the payments right off the bat. So thank you.
Yeah, we had 18 at the end of the last month. So, I mean,
Yeah.
13 came up.
Well, this is what impresses me, the units with legal issues. Because when I first was on the board, I think we had 40 some.
42,
yeah.
42.
Yeah, 100,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So to see 2 on this list
Mhm.
is
Very-
incredible.
very
Great
good.
job, John.
Thank you. Yeah, and then we'll get into that 364. Obviously, you still see the sign if you go by there and you see the unit auction. They've had they've accepted 2 offers, both of which failed to close. So they're still attempting to do it, and the bank is still fighting us. They're not paying what they're supposed to. They're not paying their regular fees since they took over. They're not paying the special assessment. They're one of the 5, obviously. And
How can they do
So
that?
does this 12,000 include those accrued fees?
yeah, accrued fees and legal fees.
Don't you try it.
I was gonna say.
They only owe
we'll be the
about
first one to turn in.
maybe $7,000 or $8,000 in real fees to the association, but anything above that, we've paid the attorneys in collection process.
And now are we foreclosing on the bank?
We will. Well, we put a lien. We've liened the bank, and the next step would be foreclosure on the bank. Yes.
And what does that mean?
Well, that means we have a chance to take it over, but
Yes.
you know, they're not going to go to that level. What's that? Sorry.
Hmm?
Boy, are you evil.
That would be wishful thinking.
I think that'd be a nice additive.
It would be.
Look what it'd look on our resume. We have our own bank.
Mhm. That's right. There we go. Or,
Okay.
Think of the
Um,
interest we could get then.
I don't know, John was saying something about making 364 a clubhouse, but I don't know. if he did.
I got just that.
Do you want to talk about 718 as well, John?
Yeah, we'll talk, 718 is just in arrears on their maintenance fees. They owe the association $2,816.96. And they paid 5,200. And so they paid a good portion of it, but they still owe, and they are in the final procedure of foreclosure there too.
Is this one of the ones that did not pay the assessment also?
No, they paid the assessment.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, strange. Very
That's only
strange.
180. But she's done
Okay.
that before, hasn't
Any
Yeah.
questions on the units with legal issues? Okay, then we'll move on to the hurricane developments. We have several items under that category.
Steve covered most of them, and touche as far as really agree with Steve rather in the fact that the boys have really been doing excellent work. We had more than 29 trees leaning and or on building roofs. And it says here has been removed, and making my final tour on Saturday, I realized there still is a palm tree on top of 551, which we have to get off. But it's not causing any damage, but we will get it off with our crew. All the roads were cleared, as Steve said. Cost to date for tree clearing work is $19,900. Saturday, Brown was in with 3 mega trucks. You probably saw them. We took 12 loads out of here. And the only thing they left was a pretty good sized stump that they must have forgotten. It's over in the corner, and we could make maybe a nice
Planter.
chair or something out of it. It must weigh 1,000 pounds. So I don't know how much we're gonna move of it, but that's all been taken. And I'm researching, see if we can get some reimbursement. I talked to the county as late as this morning. They again confirmed that because of our private streets, even though we pay taxes here, the private streets do not get collections. And so we're doing a couple things now. Number one, I've got the information of where to proceed to see if we can get some relief for FEMA. That's number one. And number two, since the county says they'll pick up everything on public streets, any
Dumping on a
major
public
dumping, currently, we're dumping anything major out on 43rd Street. So we don't have to collect anymore and pick it up.
Good,
So the boys are doing that for us.
That's great.
Yep.
yeah.
And all pools were cleared, as he said, and of course, pool 5 was the worst one, where it had a tree into the spa. And we had trees taken down there. 9 roof leaks were found. The roof repaired 3. Our staff was able to repair 6 more of them. So far, cost $674, but we did find additional leakage today over the rains from Saturday for 2 units. One where the big Norfolk pine went down on it. And we're going to have to do a pretty good section of that roof. And then 533 also has to be repaired. Several carport ceilings were damaged and some vehicles damaged, which we'll deal with that in the future, obviously.
How does insurance
What-
work with
I was gonna say.
the vehicles that we damage? Is that-
Well, we would be part of our general liability.
Oh, it will be us.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We had a couple in the past. 3 or 4 years ago, Larry Woodrow had trees come down on his car in your cluster, as a matter of fact, and the association was responsible for it. Of course, the insurance company said that the trees were rotten and we should have taken them down, so they dishonored his claim, so we had to pay it. And while we're talking about trees, another tour this morning, there's about 5 or 6 more trees that are a major concern. Over in front of 374, there's a rather large oak like beside Peter Ferentz that fell down and closed the road here that's leaning. And for as long as we're building up the funds, and maybe we'll get some reimbursement, I think that there's probably 4 or 5 more that the big trees should probably come down just because of the way they're leaning. They're leaning in the wrong direction. If it's leaning out toward a common blank area, that's one thing. But when they're leaning toward the house, and we've seen these trees come down because of the limited root system, we may have to think about taking these down. And they're rather good sized trees. I think that is all on that. Yes. Any questions about cleanup?
Does the 19,000 include overtime for the guys? Or is
No,
that strictly
That
Brown?
was additional. The 19,000 was John Brown bill, the $1,750 or whatever it was. It was additional to that with the guys cleanup.
So their overtime was 1750.
1795.60 as a matter of fact, total time. Also, 52 courtyard, dumpster, and other types of fences were damaged. Some are starting to be repaired. We ordered this morning additional materials to fix the rest of them. They're slowly but surely will be brought back. There's about 17 posts. Steve and I did an in-depth tour, checking every fence throughout the property, and have a very complete list of what's to be done. Out of the 52, we probably fixed 8 or 9 of them by now, but now we need materials, and that should be delivered by Thursday.
Is this the result of storm damage?
Oh, yeah, it's all storm damage.
Okay.
Yeah, some of them were totally crushed. Somebody knocked down a tree next door to her, and that caused damage, but we won't say anything about that.
I didn't do that. So why does everybody
There's a
have
guilty
to-
conscience.
Yeah, and
What are you taking blame for?
No,
Nobody
that's-
was-
Nobody said
Oh,
your
no, no,
name.
it's gone across the association. It's my fault.
Now, that avocado tree that went down took out a fence, and that's one of the crushed fences.
She was celebrating.
Yeah.
I was dancing with my, no, I wasn't.
Yes, you
Um,
were. You told me.
Thank you very much. The bridge over by Pool 5 is
That's been,
beautiful.
that's been
It
refixed, yeah.
really looks beautiful.
So that's about it. I mean, I'm sure there'll be more, and there'll be more things happening, but that's where we are up to date.
Did we do anything with the budget on this? Was this coming up? where
The
did
the
it-
upcoming budget, well, so that's something we're going to talk about later in the meeting. But there is funds in our reserves
Yeah.
for some of this cleanup, and that's what I'm going to ask you to expend those funds today, because I don't normally make a reserve expense unless we talk to the board about it.
Thank you, John.
Can I just add a comment as a resident? I think what you and Steve and the guys did in the cleanup is just unbelievable.
Thank
The
you.
dedication and the kindness to spend all that time and all that effort making our place look beautiful again. Kudos to all of you.
Thank you, and it's appreciated, and the boys appreciate it, and I'll pass it on. Just to let you know, today we're finally cleaning up the debris in any parking area. I made them, I was so happy Friday or Saturday when they were taking all this stuff out of here, and just to see it gone. And I thought, well, let me just run around the backs and then see everything before I leave. We got another 2 or 3 weeks worth of work in the backs, but it's mostly out of our sight now, and we'll start on that almost immediately.
Thank you. There's a couple of things that got rescheduled because of the storm. You want to talk about those?
Yeah, okay, well, it's been projected or requested to do the following. Number one, the Fall Fest scheduled for November 5th. The main promoters, if you will, or the main leaders of that function felt that it would be too much to try to push everything in. And they're asking the board to officially cancel it at this meeting and reschedule it for sometime early next year when we'll have the majority of people here.
And I guess Steve and I think that makes sense, since there's still a lot of cleanup that needs to be done. And so we need to have a consensus for that.
Well, somebody make a motion
Okay.
since we had a motion to do it, we should really have a motion to delay it or something of that nature.
I'll make
So
that
moved.
motion.
I'll second it.
Shannon and Deb, okay? All in
Anybody
favor?
object? No objections, it passes.
All right.
Thank you.
Also, the cluster roadway parking area resealing project, easy to say, has been canceled due to the fact that we still have debris everywhere. And it's a thought now, at least I would propose that we reconsider doing it this year, because now everybody's starting to come back. It would be mind blowing to try to figure out where to park with
Park.
everybody here. We could do it in late spring, but then you get the very hot summer sun that kind of beats down on it. So my thought would be just to save that $88,000 over to next year and do it next fall.
Is it gonna cost a lot more?
No, the prices won't vary much at all.
Do you need a motion on that?
I think so, because again, they were supposed to be here today.
I make a motion that we postpone that until
Alright.
next fall.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions? Any discussion?
What effect will that have on the main boulevard next year as far as you're concerned?
Well, we may do both now because we'll have the funds, but it all depends on, maybe we'll do the boulevard first and then do all the ceiling. I mean, I don't know, but a couple things will happen. We'll end up with more money in the reserve fund over the end of the year, which is more to invest for a period of time. And we got 6 to 8 months to invest that. And we'll have a month to do both projects. And that kind of takes care of all the paving and resurfacing. Otherwise, we have a hole in still to fix, another potholes
Yeah.
developed in Sherwood. And we had that big pothole as you left, and we put cement in there and then put loose asphalt down, and it seems to be good. So we're going to try to do the same thing in Sherwood.
Sounds good. Any other discussion on the motion? Okay, are there any objections to the motion? Hearing none, the motion passes. Thank you. All right, where's the agenda going into old business? So the first thing to talk about is the walkway, upper floor walkway renovation project.
All right, we have 141 of those to do. 44 units are complete, and they're starting to work next week on 4 units at Lakeside Drive. Total cost invested so far is $197,285.53. Our initial ones, as you all remember, was costing us a little bit more than $5,000, and now we're up $2,900 per slab. So we're going to get more done for the bang for our buck.
That's good. 559 renovation project. That's where the termites were.
Yep. Yeah, and the word of worry is very important. But there is work on now finally going on. The old materials in the ceiling were painted as per the project and sealed. Well, I'm ahead of myself. The termite company came and treated everything there on the bare wood. And that's when, of course, when we found the damaged roof trusses and what have you. An engineer designer came in and wrote up the plans, engineer certified it. We took it to the county. The county rejected the first permit application not because it wasn't in order, but because they didn't like the form that they use. Believe it or not, we applied for a fast permit almost a month ago. We don't have it yet. But the word is that they're going to give it to us. So we've started work on it even without the permit in hand. All the wood, sistering wood is being done today. So the structures will be all taken care of. Then they need an inspection. Then the electrical work to be done with an inspection. Then the drywall to work to be done. And so it's underway now as we speak. And the contractor was told that the permit is ready to be picked up. But when he went there today, it wasn't. But we're doing the work anyway now. So
Will the drywall be in-house? I know
No.
we're
no,
missing-
there's a tremendous amounts of, there's 3 ceilings and a
Oh,
wall.
okay.
No, but that'll all be with the contractor. We're looking at $16,000, $17,000, $18,000.
And how much would it cost to tenant?
How much tenant? Well, 24 to 25 without a guarantee.
Yeah.
And then we would never known about the roof damage.
Right, okay.
And how much time are we looking at?
I swear to you, I'm giving up on saying it. Every time I think it's going to be next week or the week after, I would hope that within 2 weeks she'll be back in. I really hope
Oh.
so.
Because I was wondering, because she was here last time I was here.
Last
and
was the last
She
meeting.
had an issue.
She has, well, she rightfully so. Unfortunately, it's her choice to move out. And maybe all of us wouldn't like to live in there, but I really didn't see the necessity of her taking out the furniture and doing what she did. But that's her decision.
Any other questions on that unit?
Is she doing okay?
That was gonna be my next question, because she had concerns about her furniture getting moldy and within the
I
unit.
don't have any idea what the furniture looks like.
Have you heard anything, Tammy?
Just the continuous construction.
Sure. I mean, nobody wants to be displaced for the period of time that they're doing.
But it had something to do with it being in a a pod outside her house.
Well, there is a
And
pod
no-
out there, yeah.
No, and I wondered why we couldn't just use dehumidifiers in it to help protect it.
Well, Steve and I looked at it and it might have been able to be done, but the way that pod is constructed, I don't know how much of a value it would have done.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is discussing the purchase of automated chemical feeders. for the
Still
pools.
waiting for a final price on it. I hope to have it by November.
Okay.
I hope.
Okay.
Hope, hope.
Before it snows.
Wait.
Yeah,
So we don't have to winterize it.
well, we still have the equipment, but that's not the point.
Right.
Yeah, but they're charging us rent all this time too. so-
Well, yeah, every month for
Yeah.
10 years. that I know.
So it would make them,
So until we make a decision, we're still paying rent. That's true.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, backflow preventer problem.
All right, as you know, as you come in off of Cortez, there's that big backflow that's in the traffic island behind the sign or just to the south of the sign. And it has to be inspected for the county each year. It failed. And work is scheduled for Tuesday, the 18th.
No.
That's right, tomorrow. And the good news is there's a bypass on that, so we won't have to shut everybody's water off. Because it will be a
great.
it will be a 3 or 4 hour repair.
Having the bypass and not having to put water.
That's a very good thing. We did have a major water leak developed this weekend. It's not on the report. It happened Saturday where one of the caps blew off behind Edith Strait there at 476. She's had a lot of issues, but part of it probably came because some of the tree roots that came up and everything else. And there was water shooting about 30, 40 feet up in the air.
oh,
And Jeff was able to come in. Steve got involved and got him here. And we were able to shut the water off the palm tree for a short period of time, which has been capped and everything's back in working condition.
That poor lady.
Moving on to new business. We have communication.
Communication received, an email received from Judy Wishart, an owner in the property, who's requesting the board to consider authorizing an arts and crafts show of residents for residents. As I understand it, I included a copy of her email to you all. She's not looking, I don't think, to do a massive exterior people coming in, but more of an interior thing of some of the arts and talents of some of our residents may wish to be displayed. And that would be something the board would have to approve. You may want to not do it right now, but you may want to consider it because I think it probably is a very good idea.
yeah.
Should we turn that over to Cynthia to maybe coordinate
To do that,
or no?
Maybe coordinate with
it's part of the social,
schedules.
it's part of socials, yeah.
We've got a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Somebody said we should turn it over to the courtyard sale. No, I'm just-
I can do it, no problem.
Yeah, no, I know you can. But I agree. It should be referred to the social and she can come up with something for the November meeting and we can get something scheduled while people are here.
And it looks like they were shooting for the end of next year.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah.
Will Cindy be back by then? Because I know she's been delayed.
From my understanding, she's about to do in town anytime.
She'll be here on the 31st of October.
Okay, that's almost anytime.
Barbara, do you want to say something?
I was just gonna say, all right, so they're not thinking of doing this until the end of next year, so
Yeah.
I'll just wait till the spring newsletter.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right.
Okay, the next item is the 2023 operating budget. We have to have a motion today to send it to the owners for their review. And then we will get to vote on it and approve it at the November meeting. We went over it at the last meeting. Are there any questions or discussions? I'm sorry, we need a motion before we can
There's,
have a discussion.
well, there's some more packets here. If anybody doesn't have any, I know I did put them out at the workshop, but if anybody needs to take a look at it. Obviously, we're looking at a tremendous increase but all of our neighbors are also. It's primarily insurance and cable. The good news about the cable is that they've indicated to me that we might have a negotiation point for some not as large an increase next year or in 2024, because the contract will be 5 years old and they're interested in renegotiating, and they will. Insurance is funded or is the amount put in the insurance fund is from the recommendation of the insurance agent, and that obviously happened before Ian, the storm Ian, and we don't know what's going to happen now. We hope ACIC rewrites this. They're the only one that's backed by state funds that have gone ahead and underwritten our policies for the past 6 years. It's a terrible thing. The only good thing I can say from this is that if you take last year's maintenance fees, quarterlies, add them up to a year, and add the special assessment that you all paid for the insurance catch-up, this, although it's a healthy increase in maintenance fees, will be $140 less than you paid last year.
What?
Yeah, what I'm saying is,
$700.
what I'm saying is if you take your maintenance fees for 1 year, 2022, and add the $700 insurance assessment that you paid, that will be more than even with the increases were proposed for next year. So you'll be saving, not saving, you'll be paying about $140 less than you paid in 2022.
I make a motion that we accept the budget, 2023 budget as shown here, to be sent out to the owners for approval, and guess that's all we need.
The owners for review, because the board will
Oh,
approve.
Okay, we have a
To the
motion and a
owners.
second.
Information.
Any further discussion?
With second.
Cookie,
Oh, thank you.
Cookie, second.
I have one question.
Plenty. Go ahead.
Is there a way that we can tell our owners how we compare to those associations
Around us.
to give them some perspective on how much less ours is than theirs? Because I know we pay.
I'll try to find some of that out to put it in the letter, because the letter has to go out pretty quick. We'll probably have a mailing within the next 2 weeks, because everybody has to have the budget sent to them by statute 14 days before we adopt it. A lot of times people don't want to tell you. You all get more information from your friends than I can formally. I know, Steve, I think you've talked to some people at Wildewood too, right?
Yeah, Wildwood 2 pays $525 per month. And they're looking at, I just talked to the guy this morning who just talked to his president, and they are looking at a huge assessment coming because they have to redo their roofs. But they're also going to have an increase this next year. So like I said, he's at $525 a month now, and that's what, considerably
$15.75.
more than we pay.
Okay, my only suggestion is maybe ask Catherine, she would know. Spring Lake.
Yeah. Catherine, what, do you have any feedback from Spring
Catherine,
Lakes?
on
Yeah.
Well, their assessments are already much higher monthly than ours. 605 where we live was 605 now compared to what I'm paying. And they always pay by not the size of the unit, but everyone pays the same share.
Right.
So they're seeing lots of increases. The houses down the street, they're going to see even more increases than they already had.
Well, that gives us. that
Yeah,
gives us
there's
some
something I can
information.
write in there that
Yeah.
the feedback is, yeah,
I'll get some concrete numbers for you, John.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Catherine.
I
And
think I'd be a little more generalistic than specific.
Oh, no, I'm saying neighboring,
Excellent. Perfect.
our
close.
valued
neighbors,
neighbors
Close neighbors.
pay somewhat more.
Jenny?
Amy and I went to an insurance class a couple Fridays ago. And the guy there at the end of that, he was explaining why insurance was costing so much, because like Florida has more lawsuits against insurance companies than any other state in the union. like 200 some odd thousand. And they were talking about the money. They said for the insurance companies in 2021, for every $100 they took in, they paid out $117.50. Now, I know when my wife was selling insurance, she said they used to consider a 10% loss to be acceptable with insurance companies for homeowners, you know. But he also projected, he said he thought, in his own view, that insurance would probably go up 50%. Because of
Yeah.
it'd be
Well,
a 50% increase. Now, we were talking 30 or something like that,
Yeah,
but he's saying 50, you know.
could
We've
happen,
heard that
could
number.
happen,
I
it
mean,
could
I'm
happen.
just saying, you know.
Shannon?
Oh, wait, yeah, go ahead, Shannon.
Do we have a pretty good history with AC, ACAC?
ACIC,
ACAC?
American Coastal
Yeah, right,
Institute,
What,
insurance company, yeah.
do they take that into consideration?
No.
Or is it just blanket?
No,
It's just
The
a
whole
blanket.
world.
no.
Very good.
Unfortunately, the underwriters are gonna look at the situation period, the end, no matter if we're there, they could tell us, no, they could decline writing us. And that would put us into a situation where immediately we'd have to get roof inspections, and the best cost I have on that right now is $5,600 for our 40 buildings, and then go to the citizens. We'd have to pay a higher rate to the citizens, and also we would lose the benefit of ordinance and law and things like that, because their policy is not all inclusive like we have now. So it is a very scary situation.
Sounded like it in the paper.
So do we know whether we're gonna have coverage? I mean,
No, we won't know. We won't know until they write us a proposal, which will come in February.
Go ahead, Leslie.
And by comparison with our neighbors, nobody has better reserves than we do.
Well, that's true.
And
That's true.
People should be aware of that, because that's huge, especially to
Dick?
associations looking into.
Richard.
One of the things that we can remind our members of, we have services. I know people in Wildewood too, and Spring Lakes, and if they have a problem, it might
It's
be
all
days and even weeks before
contracted
anything's done. Just to replace an outdoor light
Outsourced,
bulb, because
yeah.
an example, they would not allow them to do it if somebody had to. So we are getting our more than our dollars worth of service, so we need to help our folks understand that.
We're fortunate to have our own crew.
Right.
Yes.
in-house.
Definitely.
And Jeff's usually on call, or somebody's on call.
Right. Somebody.
Yeah, Jeff, Jackie, sometimes Jim, but they're all there.
Okay, any other discussion items on the motion on the floor? Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve the budget to be sent to the owners,
The operating budget.
the operating budget, sorry. Are there any objections?
I think you better do a roll call.
Oh, okay, do a roll call? Okay. We'll do a roll call.
Okay.
Operating budget to be sent to the owners.
Yes.
Roger Schultz?
Yes.
I say yes. Shannon?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Dick?
Yes.
Denny?
Yes.
George?
Yes.
Let's get Monica. Claire?
Yes.
Tammy?
Yes.
Tiffany?
Yes.
Barbara?
Yes.
Debbie?
yes,
And John West?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, then the next thing is the reserve budget. We have to do the same thing for the reserve budget.
That's contained in the same packet.
It is, it
The,
was also part of the packet that the directors got this week. So the reserve budget is there for you to look at.
The contribution is anticipated, well, is proposed to be 500,000 as it has been. There may be slight changes in the bottom, not the 500,000, but if you make some changes at this meeting as proposed, the figures will change a little bit, i.e. will be more money because of the not expending funds for the ceiling project. And there may be less dollars available for storm cleanup, but it's still going to be 500,000. However it tanks out. I may have to recalculate it a little bit, but what you're doing is what you have now. And this, again, the word fully funding gets thrown around pretty easily. it's as close to fully funding as you could possibly be. I mean, there's always going to be something that may or may not be covered. I've had associations that have 250 line items in their reserve. They're reserved for hammers and small stuff. It's crazy. But this covers you as it has been for many, many years.
And should we be talking about the possible changes before we adopt this to be sent out? If it's
No,
already
no,
changed?
well, as amended, you could say as amended, because we probably will amend it, or you want to wait and talk about these and then pass it with the amendment. But that's probably the best way to do it.
I think we should talk about it
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, okay.
We got to talk about some of the potential changes that John is suggesting in the reserves to be prepared for some of these other issues that may come up in the future.
Okay, we looked at it to see. I mean, you know, back in the day when there was $200,000, $300,000 in the operating surplus, Irma came along and we paid $94,000, but it didn't affect anything other than the fact that you had extra cash. Excuse me. Now, of course, that's gone. We've got about $39,000 in the surplus, and we figured that we want to, and that's pretty low anyway, as the board's policy is to try to maintain $100,000 operating surplus. So we got a bill of $19,900. The reserve does include currently in the bank $10,000 for storm-related damage. And so I would propose to utilize that fund to pay towards the $19,900. And also there's some $20,000 in the fund for trees and shrubs. Now, you know, I'm sure it was anticipated when we set that up is to buy trees and shrubs, but this is a tree and shrub expense. And my thought would be for the board to consider paying the full amount of the $19,900 out of that. We're still going to get another $8,000 or $9,000 bill come up, and we'll assimilate that. But right now, that would be my position. You would still end up having $10,000 in the shrub and tree budget in the reserves, but you would take down to zero the amount of the storm cleanup. What's your thought?
You make a motion? Motion to
Sure.
approve? Paying
Okay.
the
I'll second it.
19.9 the
Yeah.
reserve fund.
Yeah, this, okay. All right, Deb seconded it.
Yes.
Any
Any
discussion?
discussion? No discussion. Okay, shall we do another roll call to accept? Oh, no. We're.
It's
Do
just
we
an
need a roll
amendment.
call for this one?
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't think so. Not on
Okay.
this. Ultimately, you would, but not on this one.
All right, so the motion is to take $10,000 from the reserves for emergency storm repairs. Take the other $9,000 from the tree and shrubs to cover that expense for the brown tree removal.
Correct.
Okay, that's the motion on the floor.
I'll second it.
Oh, it's already seconded.
Okay, good.
So is there any discussion? Richard?
From the cleanup on Saturday, will we have an additional expense from Brown?
Yeah, I could see another $8,000 to $10,000.
This isn't part of
No,
it.
that's not part of that.
Just what's been done so far.
Yeah.
Not including this past weekend. All those in
We
favor?
maybe come back and talk again.
Yeah,
See?
we might have to.
But let's only pay what we know, don't pay.
All those in favor of using that money, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, carried.
All right, the second thing with the reserve situation is the termite damage that could be $17,000 or more, along with 2 primary electric service lines to units must be replaced at a cost of $5,640 each. That's unit 138 Pinehurst and 364 Springdale. Additionally, there's been rather large water leaks into 534, 536, and 538. And now we find 514 to add to that just today. And that will require the association a responsibility to remove and replace drywall at undetermined costs. Currently in the reserve fund balances is $67,780 for sidewalk replacement. You know, we will replace sidewalks over the years, but never all at once or never to an expense of $60,000. And my idea would be, again, to consider leaving at least $27,786 in that fund and move $40,000 in an account that I would call or propose to call a major building repair account. Here again, we wouldn't be hitting our surplus operating funds. And this would be a state statute type of reserve expense because we'd be replacing and upgrading the electric service to 2 buildings and replacing the interior drywall on the other 4.
Should we indicate storm repair as opposed to just building repair?
Well, I mean, let's say this. We have a storm repair account that we'll be putting money in. We had many years a $50,000 reserve account for expenses like this. But 3 years ago, the board or the budget committee decided that, well, what's that 50,000 going to be? And I said, I don't know, unanticipated expenses. And they asked me to take it out because I couldn't give them specifics. Well, here's specifics. And I would like to think that maybe every 2 years or so, we would put some more in this fund because we're going to have these. I mean, we've had 20 of these electrical failures. Sooner or later, we're going to, I mean, and here's what happens again. FP&L brings the power in. FP&L has the big, in the transformer. And FPL is responsible to go to the handhold. The handhold is where it breaks down and goes to the units. And so from the handhold to the unit is association responsibility. So they come in and they run a line up top, boom, keeps people in business. But we have to go in there, dig out the old, put the new underground and bring it in. And that's what this 5,600 is about.
John, I thought we discussed this once before and had budgeted for that based on the continuous repair.
What we did was we put additional monies into the operating to anticipate it.
Okay.
Some of that had to come out this year because of the insurance expense. So this would be moving funds and again, expending them as allowed by the statutes because you have pooled reserves.
Let's make sure that in our next year's budget that we address this when we're.
Well, I think it should be in. I don't think it ever should come out, but it's.
Yeah.
I agree with you, because like you said, we've got more that.
Yeah.
are
It's because
gonna-
it's getting older too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna die one of these days and gonna have to fix them.
So
You
your
know, we
suggestion-
have exposure. Let's put it that way.
Right,
Yes.
right.
So your suggestion is to create the new line item,
Yeah.
add it to this budget, and move funds that we currently have on the sidewalk line to this line. So we have funds to expend for these repairs in this calendar year.
That will bring it up next year during the
And
budget
then-
Yeah,
committee.
and if we want to make it a $40,000 a year contribution, we may only spend 22, so we'll have an 18 already in there. So I mean, it won't be a
And
bad
will
hit. It
that
won't be a big
include
hit.
sidewalks? I mean.
No.
can-
Well, sidewalks you already
Sidewalks
have.
stay
You
there.
have $27,000, and we're going to spend a little bit there because I don't know if you noticed in front of 508, 509, boom,
Yeah.
when the tree went down, up went the sidewalks. So we got to
it's
break
going
that
from
up.
The sidewalk funds, and we're calling it what?
I would say major building repair,
Okay.
which would mean not just changing, putting a few fence boards up or a little bit of siding on the back, because we have a budget in the operating expense. This would be for these underground
Well, there's
lines
that- yeah,
or
that's
things
For
of
the
that nature.
major, the big costs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Major building
And again,
repair.
only the board can expend that out of that fund. It would always come to you for the, like we're doing today, to expend it. So it wouldn't be just there, anybody can write a check on.
I have accepted reserve budget redirecting funds from the sidewalk funds to major building repair fund.
Well, as it proposed, and then we can do the whole thing together. So yeah, I don't think you'll need a motion on this
Oh,
one.
no.
I mean, you'll have a motion, but I think you can do it as you did with the
Oh, with the.
trees.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good.
We need a motion to approve the expenditure right now, right?
And the move and the expenditure, yes, sir.
So we do need that motion then for the.
Well, yeah,
For
but
the
I'm
move
saying,
and the
yeah,
expenditure.
we do need a motion, but we don't necessarily have to have a roll call on it.
Oh, okay.
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 You want me to make a motion?
Okay,
Make a motion that we move 40,000 from the sidewalk line item in the reserve to a new line called major building repair. And that the expenditure for John?
Well, we don't know what's going to be for all these drywalls. They'll come to you on a future date. But we do know the expenditure for the electrical lines. But I'm holding off on 364 because nobody's in there. Why spend that money now? What approved? Yeah, I don't know that you need that. I think once you have,
we don't
yeah,
need a dollar.
just moving it to establishing a fund is
Oh,
enough.
okay,
You have
that's
to
And
do.
allow, and allowing it to be used for these expenditures that we don't have prices on.
I second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Okay. That has been passed.
So now we go back to C, 2023 reserve budget.
Right.
And what you want to do is accept reserve budget as amended for mailing to the owners.
Make a proposal to
Accept the budget as amended.
accept the budget as.
Reserve budget.
Reserve
Reserve.
budget, reserve budget.
And do
Reserve
we
budget
want,
as amended.
do we
Yeah.
want a roll
Yes,
call on this
yes.
one?
So that's when we do.
Accept reserve.
Accept reserve budget as amended.
For
For mailing to the
mailing
owners.
to owners.
Barbara made the motion. Was there a second?
I'll
Yes.
second.
Okay.
Okay, and moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Well, I think
Further
it's
discussion?
rather pertinent to the assistant treasurer spending all this money.
We'll make her work
Yeah,
harder.
that's right.
All those in, oh, we gotta do a roll call.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
Pam.
All right, so it's, we're going to accept the reserve budget as amended and send to the owner, correct? That's it?
That's it.
Mhm.
Okay, so Barb and who was it, Claire?
Claire.
Claire.
All righty then. Cookie Finch, yeah, I've forgotten you all day.
Thank you.
Roger Schultz.
Yes.
I say yes. Shannon,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Denny,
Yes.
That was me.
George,
Yes.
Claire,
Yes.
Tammy,
Yes.
Tiffany,
Yes.
Barbara,
Yes.
Deb Harder.
Yes.
And you, John West.
Yes.
And hearing aids, I guess.
Okay.
Great.
That's been fast. Thank you, everyone. John will be getting those out shortly.
Yep, he will.
Okay, managers report. Is there anything?
There's a couple, yeah, a couple minor things at the end, roof penetration pipes, all of Pinehurst, Sherwood, Springdale Villages roof penetrations have been covered with screening material and secured. Currently, we're working in Palm Tree Village. As a matter of fact, only a half of N is left. And so that'll be finished up, but obviously we're doing other things right now other than checking those pipes up top. Eventually, all buildings will have all of their roof penetrated pipes covered with the hardware mesh. Make sure that no creepy crawlies and stuff gets in there. Secondarily, and here again, I didn't put the number in because I went out and didn't do it. Anyway, there have been, and I do have the number, there have been 267 repair requests, repair and or requests handled by the staff since the last meeting.
That it, John?
That's it on the managers. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're up to the agenda item for committee reports. Since you're there on the camera, Steve, would you like to talk about the building committee?
Well, we skipped last week's meeting and now it's set for this Wednesday, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that this Wednesday. So I was wondering if John, if we could make that next Monday or Tuesday.
Absolutely, no problem.
Okay. Nah, besides that, no, nothing else.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, other than the fact we're developing or adding to the list for unit closers.
Yeah.
That's our big project right now, if you will.
Keep track of the empty units.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, to
And
give,
how they're
if
cared
you're gonna
for.
be gone,
What you
what
need
to
to
do and all
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Okay.
We currently send out 4 pages, but there's always something you can add to it or whatever.
Okay. Right, very good.
So what day we're gonna do the building committee?
Well, Monday or Tuesday, which would be a week from today, Steve, is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
that'll work.
Second.
Yeah, we can do it next Monday at 10 a.m. if that's all
Okay.
right, with everybody.
That's fine. Thanks.
Okay. Catherine, since you have Chris Perry's name in front of you, are you reporting for his committee?
Sure. We canceled last month's meeting due to Irma. And this month's meeting is still scheduled for the 28th. Chris has been moving around and putting some money into, receipts to John for various expenditures the IT committee had already made and forgot to get the money. But other than that, just kind of reviewing the way the website is set up and just checking to see that people are actually utilizing it for what it was designed for.
Thank you, Catherine.
Okey-doke.
Tammy, pools?
We had discussed the impact the hurricane had on each pool. And our next meeting will be November 1st, 10 a.m. and it'll be at pool 5.
Thank you. John, do you have anything on the grounds committee?
Grounds committee is that we've had a little bit of debris fall upon the property.
Please.
And actually, Peter has been in constant contact with me regarding what's going on. He was anticipating to be here for this meeting. Unfortunately, his wife has got some issues and they have to stay up north till at least probably the end of the year. So he's delayed in coming back, but we're going to try to start cutting the grass again because it's growing in front of the units, and we'll probably start that tomorrow. And then we'll clear the backs and do that. So that's our main emphasis right now, is continue to clean up.
I had, one of my neighbors asked me a question. If we were gonna clean up our cluster, what would you like them to do? Pile all the leaves and junk in one parking place, or what would you
Whatever,
like?
yeah, that's right. Whatever they feel like doing is fine. I mean,
But
we will
just
come by and pick it
individual
up.
piles
Just
is
sweep it up
basically
to a
what
little pile, but I mean, we're doing that now, and you shouldn't have much to
Well,
do.
I'm thinking about the future.
Oh, for
reference.
future.
They were saying, what do we do next time?
Well, I mean, some of the clusters did a heck of a job. I know, I think it was H was out there Thursday and right after the storm and had about 20 bags there, so anyway, and we've picked up most of the bags too, and any bags left out there will be picked up by tomorrow.
And where are they going? Where are they being distributed?
Well,
Out on 43rd?
yeah. Bags, no, the county won't pick up bags, so we have to do the normal with the county, with the bags. They'll go back here and be picked up. But anything that other than bagged, that we have the trailer loads, we just go out there and dump it. But the bags, county won't pick up.
You know what, that's
You could
great.
just
If we
empty 'em
take
out of the
tattoos,
bags.
We may as well.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
that's just awesome.
Might as
yeah.
well. Sure. Any other committees?
Eddie said, I hope the cops don't arrest me for doing it. And I said, well, we'll come bail you out, Eddie.
That's out of another line item.
Yeah.
Well, now let's take up a collection.
That'll be under legal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the newsletter committee is, due to the hurricane, we're a week behind schedule, so, but we're still targeting getting it out the week before Thanksgiving. If not
Great
earlier.
sales rep. She's
Oh, by the way, I've got
Later
another
on.
advertiser for you, so
Good. We got a lot of new advertisers this year.
Okay.
I'll see me afterwards, okay?
Okay, we'll do.
Anybody else that I'm overlooking? Okay, then director's comments. Richard?
Fine.
Claire?
I think the pump in Lakeside, where the wonderful Miami drains go, I think that needs to be cleaned out.
Okay, we'll check it.
John? Tammy?
I'm good.
I just want to reiterate what a great job our crew did. They
Yes,
are
I
just,
agree.
they are just amazing. And we can't thank them enough.
I'm fine.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay. Owners' comments. Any of you folks out there wish to say anything? Okay,
You're all happy.
all right. So next is planning our next meetings next month. The workshop will be on November 8th, which is a Tuesday at 10 a.m. here in the office. And then the board meeting won't be until the 21st, Monday, the 21st. Will be the board meeting because it's a funny month.
Funny month, yeah.
And that would be the third Monday, so it'll be the 21st. And will we be considering going to the church for that meeting?
We should, I think, because the budget's going to be discussed and the owners will have it. And
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
is it fireproof over there?
It might be.
Nobody come. Nobody come.
We can get the hoses out.
Yeah.
Any further business to become
And the other meeting.
21st would be Monday at
10
2 in the
a.m.
afternoon.
Is that Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
week?
Yes,
It is Thanksgiving week.
Whoa, okay.
It's only Monday though, thank goodness.
Yeah. If there's no further business, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I so moved.
Thank you, Catherine.
Second, okay. Bye. And seconded by John. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of the afternoon.
You do. You did that really well. You did that great, too.
Thank
You did great.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everything was well ordered.
Thank you all.
I'm not sure that's it. Honestly, I mean, what I mean.